Jayam Vishnupad Paramahangsa Parivrajagacharya Astatara Sri Maharaj Divine Grace Abhay Chananada in the Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Skambhivdi Founder Charges Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Grantaraj Bhagavatam Ki Jai Sri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai Ittai Gauravimanandi All glories to the Son of the Buddha All glories to the Son of the Buddha All glories to the Son of the Lord. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gaura. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Padasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharani Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pastatari Satari Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, First Canto, Chapter 9, entitled The Passing Away of Bhishmadev, text number 4. Dristva Nipatitam Bhumau Devash Chutang Ivamaram Pranemu Pandava Bhishmam Sanuga Saha Chakrina Dristva Nipatitam Bhumau Dristva Nipatitam Bhumau Divaschutang Ivamaram Divaschutang Ivamaram Pranemu Bhandava Bhishmam Pranemu Pandava Bhishmam Sanuga Saha Chakrina Sanuga Saha Chakrina Dristva Nipatitang Bhumau Divaschutang Ivamaran Pranemu Pandava Bhishmam Sanuga Saha Chakrina. Ladies, Divaschutang ivamaram Anemu Pandava Bhishman Sanuga Sahachakrinaha Drishtani Patitang Bhumau Divaschutang ivamaram Anemu Pandava Bhishmam Sanuga Sahachakrinaha Drishtani Patitam Bhumau Jivaschutang ivamaram Anemu Pandava Bhishmam Sahachakrina Drishtani Patitam Bhumau Divaschutang ivamaram Anemu Pandava Bhishmam Sanuga Sahachakrinaha Dristva thus seen Nipatitam lying down Bhumau on the ground Diva from the sky Chutam fallen Eva like Amaram demigod Pranemu bowed down Pandavaha the sons of Pandu Bhishmam unto Bhishma Saanuga with the younger brothers Saha also with Chakrinaha the Lord carrying the disc. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Seeing him, Bhishma, lying on the ground, like a demigod fallen from the sky, the Pandava king Yudhisthira, along with his younger brothers and Lord Krishna, bowed down before him. Please repeat. Seeing him, Bhishma, lying on the ground, like a demigod, fallen from the sky, the Pandava king Yudhisthira, along with his younger brothers and Lord Krishna, bowed down before him. Purport. Lord Krishna was also a younger cousin of Maharaj Yudhisthira, as well as the intimate friend of Arjuna. But all the family members of the Pandavas knew Lord Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Lord, although conscious of his supreme position, always behaved in a humanly custom. And so he also bowed down before the dying Bhishma Dev, as if he were one of the younger brothers of King Yudhisthira. Om Jnanatimidandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmanitam Jene Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. Gam Garodi Vachalam Pangam Langayate Girim Kipatamaham Mande Sri Gurum Dinatarnam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Ishvaram. Seeing him, Bhishma, lying on the ground like a demigod fallen from the sky, the Pandava king Yudhisthira, along with his younger brothers and Lord Krishna, bowed down before him. So we're just about to hear the wonderful dialogue between King Yudhisthira and Bhishma Dev, and as we've been hearing the last few days, there's a wonderful setup being arranged here that Krishna has so kindly arranged that the Pandavas would be victorious And now he's made another wonderful arrangement whereby the Pandavas and all kinds of wonderful rishis and sages, as we'll hear later on in this chapter, we'll get the opportunity to hear from Bhishma Dev. And the Lord himself, as Prabhupada is pointing out here, sets the example himself. Yad yad acharati shrestas tad tadeva taro jana. As Krishna explains in the Bhagavad Gita, that there has to be a proper, when the proper example is there, it has to be there. When the proper example is there, all the world pursues, all the world follows nicely. So in all cases, the Lord is setting the proper example. As we read throughout the Bhagavatam, there are so many wonderful appearances of the Lord, and all of them are there to present the perfect example, not only as a king, but a householder, as the ascetic, the supreme renunciate, or the supreme strength. There are so many wonderful examples throughout the whole Bhagavatam. So now we're getting to see the perfect example of the Lord, how he's also showing by example how one should receive or one should present oneself before an exalted person like Bhishma Dev, who we understand in the Vedic literatures is a Mahajan. Mahajano yena kata sapanta. We're always mindful to follow in the footsteps of the great Mahajans, the great souls. Of course, in the present age, there are no such examples. And instead of a good example, all we're getting is some lying and cheating and raping and pillaging of the masses. And as a result, the masses, they follow that example, right? Just as the leader is a liar, so the masses also become liars. When the leader is raping and pillaging, the citizens, the masses, they also become thieves and rogues and rapists. It's no mystery. Unfortunately, that is the case in the present age, and as we read in the Bhagavatam, it only gets worse. So there's, of course, there's a grace period during this age of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. There's a certain time period there, some thousands of years, which is actually just a flash. It's not really that long when you consider the age, the eternity of everything. It's just a very, very small time period. Just like these lives, our own lives here in this world, it's just a flash, and before you know it's over. So although there may be some a little bit of respite given, an opportunity given in this age by the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the age is only getting worse, and the citizens and the leaders are only getting worse. So this example given by the Lord, or the example given by the Lord in his multifarious incarnations, are only there to show us how we should conduct ourselves. There has to be some example. But as Prabhupada points out here, that although the Lord is acting, playing this wonderful part, he's always conscious of his supreme position. Maya hi yasya jagranda satana sute traigunya tadvishe veda vitayamana. Krishna never forgets, as Lord Brahma, he prays, he worships that personality who is the absolute substantive principle, and being the ultimate entity in the form of support of all existence. The Lord, he's always situated in his pure goodness. Although he may come into this world in his various incarnations, he always remains the substantive principle. Everything is dependent on him, as Krishna says, ahang sarvasya prabhavo. It's all dependent on him. It's not that there's something out there that's just sort of floating, going on by itself, as the atheists and the mental speculators would like us to think. But it's all being controlled and owned by the Lord, and then he's the ultimate support. Again, it's not that something is going on without his sanction. And he's the source of it all, right? Ahang sarvasya prabhavo. He's the source of all of these material and spiritual worlds. And those who are in perfect knowledge of this, they engage in his devotional service. Just as the Pandavas here are showing the perfect example. And even Bhishma Dev, we'll hear later on how, and we heard so nicely yesterday, that his mindset was always that he wanted Yudhisthira to be the king. It's not that it was, but by circumstance, by Ekala Ishvara Krishna Arsabha Bhrityak, by Krishna's arrangement, everyone has to dance according to Krishna's arrangement. As according to Krishna's desire, such and such thing had to happen, so that the opportunity would be there for Yudhisthira, as well as all of these great sages and saints which we're going to be hearing about. They all get an opportunity to hear the wonderful words of Bhishma Dev. So again, by Krishna's arrangement, these things are going on. And all the while, the Lord, he never forgets, right? In the Bhagavad Gita, he tells Arjuna, Bahuni me vyatitani janmanata abhi charjana. That Krishna's, he doesn't fall into some dark state of mind or some delusional condition or some forgetful condition. Even Lord Brahma has to be educated. It's not that Krishna has to do something to become enlightened. But he's always in full knowledge. And he's always remembering. He's quite aware of everything. And it's not that we can even do something in this world that Krishna is not aware of, right? Paramaiti, what is it? Paramatmaiti chapyukto dehismin purushak para. Krishna is there in the heart as the overseer and permitter. He's quite aware of what's going on. It's not that something's being hidden behind the door number 1 or door number 2. No, it doesn't work like that. Krishna is quite aware of what's going on. But by his arrangement, he makes this wonderful exchange. Because he's always concerned. Pitaham asya jagato mata data. What is that? Mahapita. Yeah, he's the father, the mother, the support, and the grandfather. He's in all senses, Krishna is everything. And it's all there for his enjoyment. Although the living entities would like to think that we have so much wealth, or we may have so much knowledge, or we may be so qualified in so many material circumstances. It's actually really, it's laughable. Just like you see sometimes the what goes on, especially now, politics seem to be such a big issue in the world these days, and how some of our political leaders are conducting themselves. It's laughable. It's just laughable. The ignorant things that they may say. It's just, it's sad. It's so unfortunate that the society is bereft of any intelligence, any leadership. This was the case during Duryodhana's cruel rule. The world was, the whole of society was being misdirected by such a cheater, such a liar, that the Lord had to make this arrangement of the Battle of Kurukshetra, so that again the rightful leadership could be there. So it's quite amazing that we may think that we're acting independently, or that we've achieved so many things in this world, but in reality, Krishna, he's making everyone dance as he desires. But one interesting thing is, just as here in this example of the Lord appearing so many thousands of years ago, and making this wonderful arrangement for the Pandavas, so this wonderful arrangement that we could hear these wonderful conversations, see these wonderful examples. So also in the Kali Yuga, the Lord has done the same thing, just as he does in every age. In previous ages, the Lord would, well, at least in this example, the Lord came in his wonderful two-handed form to assist, or to engage in this wonderful exchange. So he's also come in the Kali Yuga in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Ekali Kali ar nahi kona dharm. Again, we're living in an age where there are no religious principles. There are Vaishnava Shastra Ekahimarm. That in this age there is nothing but Vaishnavas and Vaishnava principles. That is the sum and substance of everything. Everything else is a cheating idea. Although again, it may look like it's on the outside, it may look like it's satisfying, or it solves the questions and the anxieties of life. In reality, it's all for naught. The Bhagavatam explains, Shrama evi kevalam. It's all a useless waste of time. So in this day and age, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has so kindly come, and just as he appeared in this wonderful pastime with the Pandavas, so he's also come to us in this day and age with the same mission, to right the misdirected civilization, and give us an opportunity for engaging in devotional service. Vaishnava, Vaishnava Shastra Ekahimarm. There's nothing else but the association of Vaishnavas. We all have practical experience. You go out in the material world, there's no association there. It's just a dog and cat society. People are simply interested in I was listening to a very nice lecture yesterday. Srila Prabhupada was describing how it's all eating, sleeping, mating, and fearing. Defending. Fearing, defending, same thing. We're fearing for our body, we're fearing for our society, we're defending our name, or we're defending our wealth, or we're defending our little bit of dirt that we happen to be walking on right now, and that is the goal of present society. So some or other, the mass of people have to be educated. Therefore, Krishna comes time and time again, as he came during this wonderful pastime. So he's also come in this day and age, in our present time period. We have a great opportunity to again speak to the conditioned souls, just as Bhishma Dev is very interesting. Bhishma Dev was given this wonderful opportunity that he could go out, he could speak, and not only just to the great sages and the Pandavas who were there, even Lord Krishna was there, but this is for all eternity. He's actually speaking to us as well. So just as Krishna made this wonderful arrangement, he's making Bhishma Dev dance as he wanted him to dance. So Krishna can also make us dance and give us an opportunity to go and preach and speak to the conditioned souls. Give them a chance to hear the same message that Yudhisthira listened to. It's quite amazing. So there's so many wonderful realizations, even from just the few lines here that Srila Prabhupada gives are so deep and profound. And if we can just understand just a teeny bit of it, then there's no doubt our lives can also become very peaceful. We'll end there. Are there any questions or comments? Oh, Maharaj. Any questions? Okay, comment.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. It's a brief comment, and I wanted to compliment Naikatma for the class that he's just given. And why I want to compliment is this is an ideal class. Why do I say that? Because all he did is glorify Krishna in one way or another. He never diverted from that particular point. And he also quoted different phrases that Srila Prabhupada often uses in his classes. It's what we call a bona fide class, an exemplary class, and we should all take notice of it so that we don't go off the beaten track. We don't have to go to other books. As Savas was saying, stay in the Bhagavatam. There's so much there, as we just saw in this 40 minutes. All he did is talk about the glories, the benefits, the values, the arrangements of Krishna. Is that passé? Is that no longer valuable? Is that kind of useless? We have to go to something new, like go to the other side of the street to see the greener grass? So I'm simply mentioning this for all of us, including myself, because I tend to do the very thing that I'm telling everybody they shouldn't do. Yeah, I could go off and get into Mahabharata and this and that. But I was relishing this class because I saw that you don't have to go very far. It's all right there. And all you have to do is just quote and take that same mood that Prabhupada has given, that Krishna is great, and we're all here to recognize that, to appreciate it, to fall in love with the lotus feet of Krishna. And there is no way that we're going to fall in love with the lotus feet of Krishna unless we keep Krishna at the center in our classes. That's all.
And that's our purpose here. We're, as you just so nicely pointed out, that our purpose here is to fall in love with Krishna. Unless you talk about Krishna and you hear about Krishna, it's just like in anything in this material, in the mundane world, if you hear and chant it enough, you'll fall in love with it. So our purpose here is to fall in love with Krishna and fall out with all this other stuff.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada mentioned that Krishna was the younger cousin for Maharaj Yudhishthira. Then this question arose in my mind, that how does the Pandu and Dhritarashtra and the Pandavas' exile and the whole stories come in perspective with Kamsa? Like Kamsa and Dhritarashtra, who was under who, or were there like ruling the kingdom together, or how do they go together?
I'm sorry. I don't know if I followed the question very well.
So when Krishna is the younger brother, younger cousin for Maharaj Yudhishthira, it means that by the time that Krishna was in exile and Kamsa was ruling the kingdom, it coincides the time that Dhritarashtra was the king and the Pandavas were going through their pastimes, right? So, in other words, Dhritarashtra and Kamsa were kings at the same time.
That's what I understand.
So, how do they like coexist together? Is one of them under the other, or are they ruling different kingdoms?
As I understand it, they had different kingdoms. They were in different kingdoms. There was not one supreme ruler. That's the way I understand it. But if someone else, Naikatma Prabhu.
King Yudhishthira was to be the emperor, so he was over all the other kings. That would include Kamsa, Krishna, and that was why he sent his brothers out to get alliance from the other kingdoms. So they came. So they were the emperors of the Bharatvarsa at that time.
Does that answer the question, brother?
Dhritarashtra. Yeah, well, he was the previous king that Kamsa usurped and put into prison, and then Krishna killed Kamsa and reestablished. His father was.
Again, as I understand it, they had separate kingdoms. Maharaj?
It was said very nicely by your good self, is that there are two kingdoms. You didn't name them, but that doesn't matter. One is the Kuru kingdom, and the other is the Yadu kingdom. They're two separate kingdoms. And the Yadu kingdoms, of course, is where Kamsa was involved. Kamsa was a Yadu, actually. Although they have these, what they call minor communities, which they have different names. I can't remember them. But the main things are all Yadus. There are over 100 different communities that come under the Yadu. But then we have the other, which is the Kurus. which, as we know, is we have Dhritarashtra, we have the Pandavas. That's the Kuru kingdom, and it goes way back. Kuru and Puru and all of these different things. So they're two separate kingdoms, and they're operating separately, doing their own thing. As far as who is the emperor generally considered, first of all, it was whoever had some spiritual knowledge knew that wherever King Krishna was, that was the emperor. In other words, nobody could defeat him, although he played the part of an ordinary person. The actual respected emperor there was Jarasandha, as we find out when King Yudhishthira wants to become the emperor under Krishna's desire, that in order for him to become the emperor, he has to kill the most powerful person in the whole Bharatvarsha.
And that's where the Rajasuya Yagya comes in.
Huh? The what?
And that's where the Rajasuya Yagya comes into fold.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, Bhima had to have this fight with Jarasandha in order to kill him and get him out of the way, because he was so super powerful, and he had hundreds of soldiers in prison who he's going to cook, sacrifice alive. And so therefore it was a very great feat, because by killing Jarasandha, all those soldiers who Jarasandha had captured and getting ready for a sacrifice to Kali, they were saved, and they fought for on the side of course, Krishna, or Yudhishthira. See, and Yudhishthira, as you know, in order to become the emperor, he had to send out his brothers and send out warriors to conquer all the different kingdoms. And when they bowed and they said, "Yes, we accept you," then he could actually do that. So those warriors who were freed, they helped in this process as well. The warriors who Jarasandha had killed.
Jai. Any other questions, comments? Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.